Landing a job as a marching band instructor can be tough, no matter if you want to teach drumline, color guard, brass, or woodwinds. But just because it's tough does not mean it's impossible. And if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering about one or both of these questions. Where do I find one of these jobs? And once I've found one, how do I get the job? Well, no matter which question you need answers to, you've come to the right place, because I'll be answering both of those questions and more coming up. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zachary Savinsky, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you never miss a new video. Wasting no time, we're going to get into that first question, which is how do I find a job? And in my experience, there are 3 different places or methods you can use to go looking. With the first one being the one I've used the most and the one that I believe is the most effective, and that's just straight up emailing band directors. All you have to do is to create a list of schools in your area, get the contact information for those directors, and start emailing them. I know, it sounds so simple, but seriously, it's the best thing you can do. Just write them asking if they have any openings on their marching band staff, and if so, that you'd be willing to put your hat in the ring for one of the spots. Make sure to tell them a little bit about yourself, what instrument you'd like to teach, and maybe even attach your resume with a list of some of your experience. But it's also important to remember that not every school you email is going to be the one. As when I was straight out of high school, I emailed probably 6 to 8 different directors about the possibility of working for them as a percussion instructor. Several of the schools I emailed never even wrote me back. Some of them did, but declined my offer. And then there were of course a couple that expressed interest in hiring me. So just know that getting your name out there can be equally as valuable. Take your time, be patient, and you'll find success with this method. All right, moving on to our second option, we have search for job postings. Now, I haven't had much success with this method, largely because of my success with the first one, but this one could still be of great use to you. As to look for postings, you don't even have to go to some official school website or anything. There are plenty of different types of groups on Facebook where directors can post openings for their marching band staff. And it could be a situation where either the groups are full of band directors and you go to them, or where the groups are full of marching band members and the directors come to there to post their openings. However, this one is definitely less hands-on and essentially requires the posting to fall into your lap, which is exactly why I prefer the first method. But it's entirely possible that this one is more your style. Okay, now, time for the third and final method. And out of everything I've said today, this one has the potential to reap the most reward. What is it, you ask? Make connections, aka networking. In many ways, teaching in the marching arts activity is founded on the principle that it's not what you know, but who you know. People are going to be more apt to hire who they personally know or are familiar, with the most common trope being band directors who only hire alumni of that school to come back and teach, which, depending on an individual, isn't necessarily a bad thing because you'll know their character as well as what their approach is going to be. But if you're someone on the outside of this, how do you beat that? Well, you have to make those connections. Fight fire with fire, am I right? Get in contact with the people who teach at schools you're familiar with, if for no other reason than to just put yourself out there. As when I was emailing schools, I didn't just reach out to ones that I thought had openings. I reached out to the ones that I knew had established percussion staffs. And now, the main school I teach at is one that already had a staff in place. But the guy in charge gave me an interview anyway, and I got a job. And then, because of that one connection I made, it has led to several other teaching opportunities for high schools, as well as an indoor percussion group. That, my friends, is the power of networking. But you don't necessarily need to be specifically looking to make these connections, because sometimes, if not most of the time, they just happen naturally. As it could be someone you went to school with, a current or former teacher, or maybe even someone you worked with at another school. No matter which one it is, the potential for this method is truly endless, and the result of making these connections will end with great success. All right, now that we've covered how to find a job, you might be wondering about that second question. How do I get the job? This is a great question and one that has many different answers, with none of them being more right or more wrong than the other. In my experiences though, just being yourself and showcasing how excited you are to teach has always been the best thing to do. And making sure to always be honest and open about your experiences and not trying to seem more employable in the moment will always be the best decision. So when you're meeting new people, just be as nice as possible and talk to them about what you can do for them, not the other way around. Because directors aren't going to want to hear about the struggles of finding a gig or how getting this job will help your career. What they really want to know is how you're going to help their students improve. But like I said earlier, there are many different answers to this question. So if you currently work for a high school marching band, what is the best piece of advice you'd give someone who's currently trying to land a job teaching? Put your answers down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And hey, if you're currently looking for a job right now, I want to wish you the best of luck. I know it's not the easiest thing to do sometimes, but I'm sure you're doing a great job, and I just know an opening will pop up for you. But in the meantime, if you found value in this video and want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps me out. And until next time, Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.